Hi guys, sorry for the lighting, it's a little bit cloudy over there, so we will have to suffice with the light we have here. Today I want to talk about a book that I read last month, no, the previous month, which is the best YA book I've read in 2018, which is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I know I'm very late to the party, but I really wanted to talk about this book in here. And if everything is right, you will be able to see it today on Friday. I will try to do my best. So let's go. Oh, my name is Clara, in case you don't know who I am. And I am the owner of this channel, The Ink Path, where I talk about books a lot. And I talk about books in English and in Spanish. Obviously, you are in an English speaking kind of video. So we are going to try and speak in English for a while. See you now. Oh, and of course you can subscribe if you like this video, but I will let you know the rest of the stuff at the end. Okay, see you now. Today we are going to talk about The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, which is my favorite YA book of 2018. And I know that it's very well loved and very, very respected, and all that respect and all that love is well deserved. I must say that I knew the topics that were discussed in this book, but I wasn't expecting it to be so powerful, so enlightening for myself. And I think all people, teenagers and especially adults, should read it, and I will explain to you why. The Hate You Give tells the story of a Star, a black girl who lives in a poor neighborhood, but she goes to school goes to a different neighborhood to have her classes. So one night she decides to go on a party, and in this party she meets an old-time friend of hers. And while they are reconnected, they are also meet a policeman who decides to shoot a Star friend in front of her because of a situation that is developed in the beginning of the story. From that moment on, Star has to deal with not only the PTSD and the psychological problem that this episode has caused her, but also the police investigation that is going through because of this event, and also the realization that maybe her world wasn't as perfect and balanced as she thought it was. And I have to say that I listened to this in a beautiful audiobook form, narrated by someone I don't remember the name, but who was a complete powerhouse and discovered a new approach to books. I've listened to audiobooks before, but I always had this feeling of the narrator like imposing or making weird voices to differentiate every character, but not giving them space and character enough to be able to, for me, to be able to differentiate them. But this woman, I think her job as a narrator was flawless. She was able to not only use different voices for different characters, so I was able to differentiate who was talking, but she was able to understand the depth of every character, especially a Star, and she breathed her words and breathed her thoughts, and you could actually feel for a Star and every single character in the book. I was crying like a baby most of the time. In fact, I had to listen to this at home because I couldn't take it out, because I was risking myself to basically sobbing in public. And that heartbreaking experience was hurtful, but was very necessary, because I think I wouldn't love the book that much if all these emotions were only contained to the digital kind of audiobook form. If this emotion hit me so hard, it's basically because of Angie's words that she wrote, and also the narrator ability to act and to be able to connect with the story. So I'm forever grateful for you two, or to you. Sorry, I'm forever grateful to you two for make me feel like that, even though the most of the time I was feeling very miserable. Um, Now going back to the themes and the topics, before that I want to say that the characters in this book were really well done. You could actually see complex, like multifaceted, flawed characters. Included the main character Star, who goes through different kind of emotional states, and she makes mistakes and she learns from them. So I was able to read this contemporary book full of fleshed out real people. I thought whenever I was in reading this book, I thought I was actually in front of her, listening to her story, or with her parents in the kitchen. I think it was very, very alive, and that's also very rich in a book. It's very, very agreeable when you have very rich characters in a really well done story, because you have all this drama going on, but it's not very abrupt. Actually, you can feel the progression of a star journey, and also the progression of everyone else in this journey, because it's very human, it's very realistic. You go through the shock at first, then the tears, then the rage, and things start from there. Now, apart from the pacing and the perfect characters that were very, very voiced, or very, very well dramatized by the narrator, I want to talk about two topics that I actually feel that are very important. The first of the ones I'm going to talk about two of them. The first one is, as far as I know, The Hate You Give was written either as a response to the Black Lives Matter, or it actually the movement, or was actually done by then. So the effect that had in the news, you could actually reflect it in the story. I am not very sure, but to me, having experience through TV, or having seen what Black Lives Matter was in the United States, I feel like this book hit me even harder than I thought. Basically, because I've seen it on the TV. I am a Spanish person, so I don't know which is the extent of the movement so far. I only know what I've read or seen in the media, and obviously I am not entitled to discuss this topic in depth, because I don't know a lot of details about it, and my background is not the most preferable to discuss this. As general as that may sound, this was very important, because when I was listening to this book, I realized that it's not only about the protest, or the, in this case, agent of security in this book being too hot, or exceeding his functions regarding a black person. But this book was very important to me, because it also showed me different realities that I am not very aware of, even though I think I always do the right thing. Reading this book, I realized that sometimes other ethnicities can be hurt by simple comments, that I haven't thought they were wrong, they were disrespectful. So having this story told from a black girl point of view was very enlightening in that sense. Going back to Star and going back to the fact that she is a teenager, I must say, as my friend Bix Jensen from the channel, the BookTok channel, Bilingual Bookcom, as she stated, and I share her point of view, this book is important because you are able to see and to reflect on the importance of young people. Young people, adolescents, teenagers are important, and they are normally minimized by the adults. I am an adult, or even though I don't consider myself as such, but it is true that those who are in the teens years normally are either non-listened or minimized just because adults believe they don't have the proper knowledge, but that's not true. Teenagers are the future adults of your world, so if they have issues, for minimal that you think they are, for them they are important. And if they are, what this book actually pointed out to me is that when they are in the middle of situations as uncomfortable and risky and dangerous as these ones that are narrated in this book, they are supposed to be listened, and they have to take action if they want to, and they have the right to do that because they are the ones affected by these, in this case, violent acts. So I feel like this book gives more credit to teenagers, which are a minority that normally aren't listened. And this leads me to the importance of YA. Normally, I don't know in the United States or in the English kind of countries, English speaking countries, but in here I'm very tired of listening that YA books, YA literature is a like lower class literature or lower kind of less important literature. I am an adult, but the majority of the books I read are destined or are focused on YA matters. And I love that because to me, YA is, as a genre, is the books that you read, or the books that explore the importance of identity and the importance of growth as a general rule, okay? So, to me, all people, human beings, are always growing. So, even though adult fiction is good and adult fiction is helpful too, I feel like my approach on life is very, very framed, or was a very built up when I was a teenager. And I feel like there are books of YA literature that tackle certain topics, let's say racism and police abuse, as in this case, they tackle this better than I feel adult fiction does, at least in my opinion. And I say this because I am very tired of being judged by the books I read. So to me, the YA readers or the adults that read YA are as respectful audience as any other, because you cannot say adult fiction is basically not good enough, or children fiction is not actual fiction, because in one way you are dismissing those who are learning to enjoy reading experiences, and to the other you are like minimizing the majority of the population. So to me, YA readers, adults or not, are able to explore topics that we normally take for granted that are really important, such as growth, identity crisis, um, importance of knowing oneself, importance of choosing a path, whatever that path is. I feel like those existential questions or matters are very, very focused in the YA section, because it's when apparently the target audience is going through those questions. But in real life, you can be facing an identity crisis, or a work crisis, or an ambition kind of crisis whenever you want. Like, it doesn't have to be only for that. So my answer, or my place of refuge when I feel like that, is YA, and we shouldn't ignore that literature, basically because the people who read YA are the most consumers, according to most like reading and book buying consumers, according to studies. So why are we taking importance out of something that is very, very important? In my opinion, if we are going to talk about teenagers and adolescents, they must be heard and they must be listened, because at the end of the day, in 5 years or 4 years in future, they are going to be the adults, and maybe they discover things that we take for granted that should be discussed. Maybe they are able to do things that we as adults are not able to do, because we think that everything is settled and everything is right. No, YA is here to not only help those readers who are in the middle of a phase where children books don't work anymore in the same way they did, and adult fiction is not appealing, maybe, but it's a set of books that allow you to be critical and try to identify yourself with who you are, depending on the age you have. And it doesn't matter your background, we should respect YA and its readers. That's all I have to say. Well, this is it. If you like this review, I hope you give it a like. Sorry if it's too worthy, but I had so many things to discuss, and I really hope you like it, and I hope you can comment what you thought about the book, or if you are planning on reading anytime soon, or any topic that I brought up in this discussion. If you like this video, as I said, you can give it a like, you can subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell that you will probably see down there, because otherwise you will not be able to see when I'm posting a video, apparently. And of course, I will let you all my social media down below, and all the Amazon wishlist that I own, just in case. Give it a look. See you next week. Bye.